Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So we are back. Today we'll be talking about Donald Trump's ultimate pathway to victory. Looking at our our average right now, this is what it's looking like right now. For just one day, Donald Trump held the average in the Electoral College. But of course, because Wikipedia had to do a big 180 on its prediction, specifically on Michigan, they had to re-add it, and apparently they've calculated that Harris is leading by 0.3. But then again, that is just because of the pathetic Quinnipiac poll that had Kamala Harris lead by 4. I guess that is in the margin of error in the said election. But then again, there's also Pennsylvania that had to be rebounded, also at 0.3. But I believe this is the Emerson College poll, which was included, that showed Donald Trump defeating Kamala Harris by 3. And another poll, yes, right here, Donald Trump defeating Kamala Harris by 1. This is 2 parts to this poll. So very interestingly enough, it's pretty much, other than that, Donald Trump's leading in 538 in Pennsylvania, which is huge because 538 is a said liberal network. And there's also the Hill, which is Silver Bulletin, that has called this race as a toss-up. It is a current tie in the average. There's also, of course, the Hill that's saying Donald Trump's leading by 0.2, and the race to the White House, they're only going out and they're saying that Kamala Harris so far is leading this race so far. Let's see what their map says. Okay, yeah, they're still predicting a Harris win. It's actually the exact same of what we're predicting right now. We are predicting, not predicting, but this is the exact same what our average is basically saying. But yes, you get what I'm saying here. Of course, nothing's all guaranteed. But anyway, Harris 1.8. That's insane. But yes, we're going to go ahead and talk about Donald Trump's path to the White House. And honestly, that path is getting closer and closer. It's going to ultimately result to, in this case, a much easier pathway to win. And as you know, Donald Trump has a 1-point advantage out of many different scenarios and different ways, and different paths of where you can win. We can go over those said scenarios. So we're going to take a look at the Republicans. So the most common one, number 1, is Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. That is the least amount of work, and that honestly gives us the 270. However, I can already assure you all that Donald Trump's probably going to carry North Carolina and Georgia. I really doubt, the pendulum, I've always said this whole entire series, it always turns the other way. And I doubt that, Kamala Harris wins in North Carolina and Georgia. I doubt that is going to be the case. But, let's just say I guarantee Georgia and North Carolina. That gives Donald Trump 251 electoral votes. Pennsylvania, you can say, we give it to Donald Trump. Yeah, he wins with just that, and it's honestly not the biggest compatible state. I mean, it's one of the compatible state indeed. It's not the most liberal compared to Michigan and sorts. But in this case, this poll, as you can tell, these polls, it is somewhat pretty tossed up. But all we got to do here, let's just say, giving Donald Trump Georgia, North Carolina, for sure. Republicans have a 5-point winning combination, while Democrats have a 3-point combination. And really, the 270 is already saying Democrats, they must pick up Pennsylvania. That's a must. Let's see if they do pick up Pennsylvania. Of course, that doesn't mean they win. It means they're out of that jeopardy zone that would pretty much throw them into the stakes of their campaign. But let's just say we go ahead and call Arizona for Republicans. Okay, now Democrats are back in the jeopardy zone. Michigan and Wisconsin, they are must-win states. So the pressure is on for Democrats now. Now, not only are they do they have to win the electoral college, they have to win these said states. They don't need to win Nevada. No side needs to win Nevada. So let's just say the Dems win Nevada. Okay. Okay, I guess that is a congrats to you, but that doesn't help you win. You must win Michigan, Wisconsin, and what I've been telling to most of my viewers, Wisconsin, the pendulum turns the other way. It barely voted for Joe Biden in 2020. I believe it's going to turn to Trump by 1 point or possibly more. But let's just say that happens. Then boom, Donald Trump wins the election. He doesn't necessarily need Michigan, but really Democrats needed Michigan anyway, because what if it was the other way around, where Donald Trump won Michigan and Wisconsin for Democrats? It's a still done deal situation. So yes, Democrats are not in a good situation when you take a look at these numbers. There is also my favorite route to 270 is the 4 states. I know a lot of conservatives like to use the Atlantic method. Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. But then again, that's not... Yeah, it's easy some sorts. All you got to do is give Georgia and North Carolina. In some way, it is better than my method, where you just need... I don't necessarily like to count North Carolina, because North Carolina voted for Trump by so much. But you just need Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia, and you win the election. The states that Joe Biden won by less than a point. You just need these 3 states. You win these 3 states, less than a point. You turn the pendulum by a little bit, and you win those states. Don't just win those states, you win the election. But yes, that's sort of what I am kind of predicting here would be the case. But yeah, all it takes is just a knob of 10,000, 20,000 said voters in the said couple states here, and then we win the election. So honestly, I think it's going out really well. Of course, yeah, Democrats are leading so far when it comes to toss-ups, sure, but then again, we have the best and most realistic winning combinations. Democrat winning combinations, okay, this is the most unrealistic, okay? Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. How are you supposed to win? Like, how does that even work? You're supposed to skip Michigan. You skip Michigan, which is a state that you would likely pick up out of all of them. So yes, Democrats win with the Atlantic method also. So the Atlantic method helps both Democrats and Republicans, but the reality that the Atlantic method would be realistic for Democrats is unlikely, because Georgia is more conservative, North Carolina is way more conservative compared to the Michigan right up here. Sure, they talk about Rust Belt. The Rust Belt, they tell us. Oh, just go ahead and give these... they go and say, oh, but you got the labor unions, blah, blah. Now suddenly they're admitting that the labor unions are going conservative. Okay. And then you'll somehow spin it and make it look like the Sun Belt's going liberal. That's not necessarily true. Sure, it's looking more competitive in the Sun Belt. Well, actually, it's not, because during every single polling season in presidential elections, the Sun Belt has been predicted to go liberal. And this is the best numbers for conservatives it's been for a very, very long time, probably since 2004. But I get what you're saying. Yes, the Atlantic method, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, those states right here will help Democrats win. Well, the likelihood is that going to happen? Very unlikely. It would be likely that Republicans did this because these states are more conservative. I also want to believe Wisconsin would go more conservative than Pennsylvania, but it is what it is. And from there, you got, you'll see Democrats just have three-way methods all the way through. But are they realistic, though? Are they realistic? Sure, Republicans just have one easy method. Well, they don't want to count. Like, that's because we have North Carolina on the list, right? We got North Carolina. Now, let's remove North Carolina. Reset all. Or go back. Okay, reset the map. We're just going to go ahead and say, you know what? We're just counting states that Joe Biden won. Barely. These are going to be the states that are competitive. You'll see, ideally, Republicans have 12 realistic winning combinations. Democrats, 9 winning combinations. Let's go ahead and take a look at those combinations here. You'll see, out of the sudden, Republicans just have a two-way said way to the White House, just Pennsylvania and Georgia, and then again, arguably the much easy way to go. But where's my method? Georgia, here it is, number 7. Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, states that Joe Biden barely won in 2020. Use those states. Yeah, it's just three-way method all the way together. Democrats, on the other hand, they don't have a two-way method. They have a 4-way method right here. They're expected to win in Georgia and Michigan. That's unlikely. I mean, how are you supposed to win in Georgia? Like, you're doing horrible in Georgia. Like, let's just say we have Georgia go Republican now. Wow. It's not looking good for Dems. They only have a 3-way way to the White House. So we're just doing the likelihood right now. It's not looking so good. Tie combinations are down. Republicans just need Pennsylvania and then they win. Michigan, Arizona, they can go win with just, if they lose Pennsylvania, it's not game over. It's Michigan or Arizona. Or number 3, Michigan or Wisconsin. Arizona, Wisconsin. Michigan and Nevada. So then again, interestingly enough, I could obviously change that. But yes, let's see. Let's say Arizona, Wisconsin, obviously, Republican wins. See? Well, let's just say Arizona. Well, if Republicans pick up all the red states, not counting tossed-up states, states that usually are Republican, they just need one state out of the Rust Belt. Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin. Let's see Democrats. They only have one combination. They have to win all 3 of those Rust Belt states. And that will give them exactly 270 electoral votes. The likelihood of that happening is highly unlikely. And especially with Wisconsin being a very, very moderate state. And a state that has been just really hard to predict overall in presidential elections. Yes, I mean, it seems Democrats always lead in Wisconsin and average in presidential elections. I mean, is that new or is that a new trend? I don't know. It's like, I don't know how long that has been, but what's looking like here, the support for Democrats have been over-predicted. They predicted that Biden would win Wisconsin by 8 points. Did he win Wisconsin by 8 points? No, he didn't. He won Wisconsin by 0.7. That's horrible. Okay, especially with this narrative, this anti-Trump environment, this anti-GOP climate. Democrats had a great midterm year, and all you could do in the state is pull a 0.7. That is horrible, and that was great news. That was probably the best news that Republicans had in 2020. The fact that, you know what, we just need to turn the knob just a little, not even a little bit, in order to win the election altogether in just Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia. So that's why I'm thinking Donald Trump has a great chance of winning this all together. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below, and as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.